our Monday with HR 2025-2026 Business Restructuring with me, Ribea Elise. Legislation in acknowledgement, right? I know these 2-3 weeks are now leading this generation communication with HR 2025, HR 2026 Business Restructuring with me, Ribea Elise. We have been acknowledging the office business communication line, that are the computerized communication acknowledgement, under the 1+1 office communication with your business software office communication. There are your business acknowledgement, right? And when we focus during these few weeks on the acknowledgement responsibility and how businesses have the right to acknowledge to the businesses that forms part of the business communication line. And when we've mentioned in the previous video business communication line, we mentioned the business computerized telephone contact line, and we've mentioned under the 1+1 office of that the business computerized communication line. And when you look at your business departmental structure, right, like we educate on structure, then you realize the legislative responsibility to adhere to the business office communication line. And when your departmental structure in your business office introduces you to the business office communication line that your business are acknowledged at, then you learn to depend on the right software program that are your business scientific acknowledgement in the office business, right? And when you're the office business communication that are making Ribea Elise acknowledgement in our birthroom, when the computerized communication acknowledges your business office under the departmental structure, then your business communication, that are how your business make communication with other businesses, are then a legislative responsibility for your business to adhere to. And then as directors in our businesses, we can decide to say that I then therefore have a decision to decide under the accreditation acknowledgement. Once you acknowledge only under the accreditation acknowledgement, then you do not acknowledge the complete communication line acknowledgement that your business office forms part of. The accreditation acknowledgement only acknowledges in accordance to the departmental structure. Your business computerized software office acknowledges in accordance to the legislative responsibility that your business have to make a business communication with me, Queen Ribea Elise, in my Evoke business communication, or me, Ribea Elise, in my Evoke business communication that forms part of your business telephone line. Now, where do you get all the information at? Under the governmental departmental training acknowledgements in your country. As a director, you have access on a computer to the departmental training communication line. And once you are acknowledged in the departmental communication training line, then the departmental communication training line gives you acknowledgement in accordance to the training responsibility that your business have, being a business in the international world of business, in the international world there are the office business. And once your business makes contact with the training communication acknowledgement that you as a business director have access to on a departmental governmental training communication line, then your business have a responsibility to adhere to the legislative training communication acknowledgements under the subject communications that I studied in human resources. And when we direct ourselves to the subject communications, then you direct yourself to the acknowledgement to acknowledge another business that you might not yet have been introduced to. Because now we are only talking about how we communicate being human beings. Remember, in one of the videos I've mentioned how we communicate being human beings forms part of the communication line that are the business office communication line that we make contact with. And once we learn to follow the complete structural office communication educational journey, then your business introduces you to businesses that does not only forms part of your business in an accreditation acknowledgement that a governmental database have acknowledged, but your business are then introduced as a director in your business. You also are then introduced to the complete departmental office that forms part of the complete business communication line that are part of your business telephone communication lines. And when you are in fashion, my dear, while me, Ribea Elise, are in fashion in New Zealand, and while my fashion journey are clearly educated, and my communication line, business telephone line, business contact details forms part of your departmental communication line, of your business structural communication line, then you have an obligation to make contact with my Evoke business. When my Evoke business forms part of your business communication lines. And then as businesses, we are then introduced not only in acknowledgement to accreditation, but in acknowledgement to our business departmental office structure. That becomes the complete departmental introduction that the business introduced at. And then the business department does not then only forms part of your business office, but it's acknowledged in the complete business acknowledgement under the office business. And that's under 1+1 office acknowledgement. And then legislatively, your business then have a responsibility to adhere to legislation. Then what does adhering to legislation then educates us with all that we have now mentioned? Once the communication have reached you, that your business forms part of me, Ribea Elise's fashion business communication line, then your business introduces you to me, Ribea Elise, on the journey. And then as business directors, business owners, we learn then how to introduce yourself to another business owner, how other business owners are then introduced to you on the journey. And then it becomes a legislative responsibility for your business then under the Acknowledgement Act that me, Ribea Elise, referred to so much in our educational journeys this year, 2025-2026 communication line. That our legislative acknowledgement becomes a responsibility that your business have. And when your business are introduced to the communication acknowledgement, then your business have a responsibility to make contact with the business that your business forms part of. And then your business don't only wait for the accreditation acknowledgements, no. Because then a business like a Ribea Elise's business are waiting in line to be contacted by business owners that are walking to the communication line. And the communication line therefore introduces those businesses to me, Ribea Elise, under journey's acknowledgement. Under the acknowledgement responsibility, the responsibility under the 1+1 business office to acknowledge another business. The responsibility under the legislative court of law to adhere to the Acknowledgement Act. That becomes the responsibility to acknowledge another business that are in the same communication line that your business forms part of and that your business have to make contact with. And when we talk then about the communication line, then we talk about the telephone line. And when we talk about the telephone line, then we talk about the legislative act and responsibility. Because now your business have to react to contact another business. And when it becomes a responsibility to contact another business, then legislatively you have to adhere in accordance to the responsibility that becomes a statutory law, that are a set law in how businesses locate their business communications. And then when businesses like me, Ribea Elise, sit and wait for someone to contact me, then the Responsibility Act forms part of your legislative acknowledgement that you have to acknowledge me, Ribea Elise's business act. And when you don't follow and adhere to the legislative act of business, then your business then becomes a business that are then therefore liable to be penalized under the Office Business Health and Safety Responsibility, the Penalty Act. That we learn in the rugby, in the sports, in the football, that we learn in all the international sports, the yellow card, the red card, the green card. And once your business are liable, and your business did not adhere to the responsibility to adhere to the Acknowledgement Act, then your business then are then in questioning in accordance to the communication line that your business holds, that are then your office communication line. Because once your business does not communicate businesses that it has to legislatively acknowledge in your business office communication, then your business are then not adhering to legislation. And then not adhering to legislation then therefore becomes a criminal offense. And that's why under the Health and Safety Act and Responsibility, all businesses, all employees have a responsibility to acknowledge the business, the office business that they are employed at. And that is it that we want to rephrase in all that we have mentioned in our HR2025, HR2026 Business Restructuring with me, Ribea Elise. The legislative responsibility, the legislative acknowledgement, the legislative adherence, the business communication office, the business departmental structure, the business's responsibility to communicate in accordance to the office communication in human resources, in human rights, the right to therefore then acknowledge other businesses that forms part of the same business departmental office, the right then to adhere to the office business, that our legislative office that acknowledges its responsibility. And therefore we only today want to listen to what I've mentioned under the legislative responsibility. Next week we can focus more on departmental responsibilities. Departmental responsibilities when employees request that businesses follow business acknowledgement in accordance to how employees have learned about business acknowledgement, and then it becomes the legislative employees acknowledgement responsibility that we want to talk about in our HR 2025-2026 Business Restructuring with me, Ribea Elise. That is it this week with this communication line. The legislative acknowledgement, legislative responsibility, the legislative adherence, the legislative communication acknowledgement, the legislative departmental structure that then forms part of your business communication office that your business communicates at, the category, the departmental level that the business communicates at, then also that acknowledges the business in all its acknowledgement, in all that accreditation highlights in its accredited rights, right? Your right to contact someone else, your right to discuss matters with other businesses, your right as a director to get training, to get education when you hear on a cell phone media page about other businesses that forms part of the departmental office, your right to therefore then implement the right processes in your business, your right to then therefore acknowledge the processes that you implement in your business in acknowledgement to your business accreditation right, the right to then therefore acknowledges your business's office that your business hold office at, that are then therefore your right, your legislative acknowledgement, that are then therefore your business's green ticks under the health and safety responsibility, under the legislative responsibility. And therefore we only want to today listen to those discussions. And we only today want to focus on those discussions. Next week we can talk a little bit more and the departmental office, and the departmental constitutional office, right? Under the statutory office, the office that states the exact reasons, regulative reasons that your business have to adhere to the office business responsibility, that are the right to contact other businesses, the right to make sure that other businesses get information that are dependent on your business office to directly send information in timely manner, right? When we focus on the statutory law, when we focus on the constitutional rights, then we find a way to be a little bit more relaxed in our countries, right? Because our countries then react responsible under the communication line that our businesses hold business at. When countries learn to act responsible, and not only act, because it does not become an art only, but it becomes that your country nurtures and that builds and creates your country in all its colors, right? And once your country learns to become responsible in its business offers, then other countries learn to not disturb your country, because other countries learn that your country then are responsible in its legislative acknowledgement. And therefore, we then want to focus on the statutory law when we discuss further on HR2025-2026 Business Restructuring with me, Ribea Elise, the law that states that are stipulated law that requires you to respond to certain communication lines that your business forms part of, and then also the constitutional law that are the responsibility that your business have to follow and to adhere to legislation. And that's what we then want to focus on. Other than that, all of you all have a lovely Monday.